I don't know. It's a long, I don't normally go sea fishing. I've come and have a seat. It's a perfect seat. This, you got your feet rest. It's I normally like do river fishing, but I haven't done even that for years. So I'm like new to sea fishing. And I found this road in my garden. Like, my last two next door neighbours. First one's moved, sold the house and moved, and left everything in the shed. I think that's where the fishing stuff come from. The next guy died, and his family came from Essex and said they just started putting all his stuff in the garden. I says, oh, where's Michael? I haven't seen him for a few months. I went, oh, he's dead. Oh, what? He's a lovely old bloke. I said, can't get his beer for him. Anyway, they said, do you want any of this stuff? They didn't want none of it. They gave us everything in the house, even his gold. I can't, it's gold, yeah. They can't, oh, just keep it. I mean, everything. I got a Monopoly set. It was 800 quid. It was like a special edition, all oak and 22 carat gold pieces in it. I sold this for 400 quid, but I'm getting to a point, yeah. Oh, he was a fisherman, and now I might have got it out of Jesus, but I'm like a hoarder. You know what I've done? Because there was that much stuff. I was like trying to take it out, and I said, just pile. I wanted to get back to Essex, so I said, just pile it all in the front garden, and I'll deal with it. So I was building a shepherd's hut on my drive, and it had two big decks folded up like this. So I said, it was all the kitchen stuff. I put it all in there, and all the kids come from school, and they were going, Lee, what, are you having a garage sale? And I went, aye, but it's free. You can take anything you want, right? So they were running on with knives and forks and frying pans and that, and coming back. Have you got a Hoover? And I'll listen. They didn't want to stay up, they got down there, you know. But me, I don't care about money, right? I just collect stuff, and when someone needs it, I just give them it.
So when you say you're a hoarder, do you like have a lot of shit in your house?
No, I hoard good things, you know, like good things. If it's shit, I don't know it. Like, I just collect good things, but I just give them to people who, like for an example, I had a pair of sunglasses, these Ray-Bans, and I was in France, and I gave them to this girl's brother, and about 20 years later I seen him, right, and he still had the same sunglasses on. And he pointed at them, and I was like, I didn't know he was on about it, and I remembered, I was, oh, it's the sunglasses I give you. And it was his pride and joy, these little Ray, but they were like what the American cops were. But the Ray-Ban, you know, and he just loved them to bits. So I find people for the items, you know what I mean? I've probably got something there for you. I give people presents everywhere I can.
Where are you from?
Newcastle.
I assumed with the accent that way, but I'm not.
Yeah, I lived in London for 13 years, and I come back. First my dad said, oh, he's turned into a Cockney, because my accent had changed. But I've been back for like 23 years, my daughter's 23. So 23 years, when I left when I was 17, came back when I was 30. I always tell people, because this is what happened. I went out when I was 17 and came back in 13 years later. I went to have a good time, you know. I was a dancer for the Shaman. They're from Scotland, did you know them?
Okay.
You heard of the Shaman?
I have heard of them.
I can move any mountain. Well, my friend sung that, and he died. That Mr. C replaced him. But oh, it was great. They used to take us everywhere. All of the big raves. Used to just walk in with a band. They come to Newcastle, and nobody believed us, right? So someone come in the barn and went, all right then, Lee, the Shaman's coming to Newcastle. All right then, get on the guest list. He was trying to embarrass us, right? So, all right then. I met them in a squat in London, in Holloway Road. I walked across to the payphone in the corner, and everyone's watching. Titled the squat. Hello, Will. It's Lee from Newcastle. Oh, hello. I said, I hear you're playing in Newcastle next week. Any chance of getting on the guest list? He just went, oh yeah, no problem, and all that, right? It was on loudspeaker, I think. The whole bar was just like that, they couldn't believe it. And I took about 4 of them, and they sat there like quiet little mice all neat. I took them to the hotel where the Shaman was staying, because there was no dressing room at the gig. It was South Shields or something. So they said, come and see you at the hotel. And me mate.
South Shields.
Yeah.
I've been there.
You been?
Yeah. My daughter was doing a competition for athletics in Newcastle, and
All right.
one of the places I went to stay was South Shields.
Did you welcome? It's
No.
a good place on North Shield, so well
No,
done.
I got a hotel and she was so cross because like everybody else was staying in like a decent hotel. I got the cheapest hotel, and she said it feels like a prison cell. But to be fair, like walking along the seafront was lovely. No one else had that. We had that.
I know.
The hotel was shit.
It's got a canny seafront.
And then I took my mum to South Shields because of that famous writer who was from South Shields. She wrote like love novels. What's she
Oh,
called?
is it?
Well, it's not Barbara Cartland, but
No,
that's the one
it's
that's
the
in
other
my
one.
head.
There's two of them.
Yes.
It's not Barbara Cartland, it's the other one.
It's the-
Catherine Cookson. No.
That's
Is
the
it?
one. Yes.
Well, I used to live
Catherine
next to her house in London, thought it might have been Barbara Cartland. In Barnet, there was this big, massive white mansion, and people used to say, I get mixed up between the two now. It was either Barbara Cartland or Catherine Cookson.
Well, Catherine Cookson was from South Shields, and so a lot of
yeah,
her
yeah.
writing was about South Shields.
Oh, I love Catherine Cookson.
My mum got into reading it, and so for her birthday, I don't know, was she like?
Oh, did you take it up?
Yeah, she was. I don't think she was 70 then. I think she was like 68, 69. And I said, right, we're
She
doing
smoked? Oh, you got your vape?
I said we were doing a surprise weekend away, so she had no idea where she was going. And I'd read somewhere there was a museum for Catherine Cookson. Well, it didn't exist when we got up there, but we tried. I mean, the beach was lovely.
Oh, but it's a nice surprise for her though, you know, even just seeing where she was from, if she's right into her.
Well, she'd just been into reading her books because she was getting from the charity shop.
Do you know what's it's Catherine Cookson, it's like a drama. It's like about an hour and a half long. You've got Tilly Trotter. I watched them all, they're brilliant. It's like set in olden days.
Yeah, no, I haven't
You've not seen them?
No.
Tell your mum to watch that on channel, they're normally on channel, I think it's 24. Channel ITV4 or something it is.
Okay.
They come on noon again on a Sunday morning. You've got they must be after the books.
She might well have.
She'll know them all.
She might well have watched
They've
them
got to be
all
based
then,
on the books because there's loads of different ones. You've got Tilly Trotter. I can't remember the names, but there's loads of them. They're great to watch. The action's shit, you know, but they've done it on purpose.
Yeah.
To make it look like
They
olden
ham
days.
it up.
It's like crass or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? But I love them, I think they're great. But I never read any of the books. My mum was right into them, you know, Catherine Cookson. She had every book. Then she got one of them Kindles. You know, she died last year. She got a Kindle thing. That's all she done was read love novels or something.
My sister uses a Kindle. I've never used one. I just read books, although I've got really shit.
What are you reading?
No, I was supposed to bring a book on holiday with me, and it was a book about some Indian wives who were fed up with their husbands and they were going to murder the husbands. And it's like a comedy.
I've heard about that.
And I was given the book, supposed to bring it with me, forgot. So instead, I'm doing crosswords and Scrabble on the phone. is how I'm entertaining myself. But I'm just loving being away.
I haven't been out of the house for 4 years. I've been in mental health. I got better. I cured myself, and then this is my first like outing. Well, I set the channel up 2 weeks ago. I've got 40,000 views, and I thought, right, I need to get some new films. So they said, "Oh, I got to Scotland." I said, "Right, I'm coming." I broke the cycle. No, I'm just going to go straight home, get my corn caravan, and come back and park there. I don't care what that stupid bloke says.
When I arrived, you seemed like an angry person.
Aye, because that man.
Because
Did you not see that man?
No, I just heard you shouting about somebody in a van.
Aye.
That's
You must
all
have
I
just
heard.
drove away when he come.
Because I arrived and I thought, oh gosh,
What
there's a
a
very
cheeky
angry
little
person
bastard.
here.
Oh no, he was being really funny with us, man.
Why?
He just appeared. I'm cooking sausages. He just popped up with the grass and rings. Right, you've got to leave here tonight. You're not staying here any longer and all that. Like with an attitude, and I went, what? As I tried to be nice, and he just still had the attitude, and so I started having a bit of an attitude. He went, don't talk to me like that. I says, well, have you seen the way you're talking to me?
Was it to do with the fact that your dogs aren't on leads?
No.
Because you've got those
was
beautiful dogs.
Did you not hear the rest of the story? I've been to the campsite, right? I tell you what he said, I filmed them at the campsite. I felt them, I'm waiting for him. Right, he said, he was representing the landowner, right? Then he was the landowner. They reckon they own this beach, right? So I hadn't said I'd paid, because we paid at the campsite. Anyway, so I goes, listen, so you know the landowner, eh? He says, aye. I goes, right, we can tell him I'll cut all his trees for free for letting us camp on his beach. It's the campsite, he said, right? I says, well, I paid at the campsite. He didn't know what to do. He said, well, you've got tonight to leave, or else I'll be back, like a threat, you know? So you didn't threaten me, I'll be at your door.
Why do you
And I
think
went to the campsite, sorry, I went to the campsite. Well, so I went in, nice and polite, asked if that thing was for rent, this cottage. And I was filming in my hat. I had the phone in my hat so I could record the voice. And she said, oh, it's not there now. I said, oh, alright, thanks. I can't say there's something else, so a big problem. And I put my bag on the desk and I can't talk, sorry, but I've got to film you. And she was stop. I says, no, look, I need this as evidence. I says, when I'm satisfied with what you say, I might delete it. And I told her what had happened, and she says, oh, I haven't got a clue who that is, he doesn't work here. I don't know how he is and all that, so I went.
And you don't know why he was annoyed at you?
Well, then people said it could be this Douglas, he's like a local bully, comes around pestering people, right? So anyway, I come back from the campsite, I searched that car park, he's not there. I drove up to that house there on my scooter, right, and the van wasn't there, because that's where he went in the van. But there was a telescope on the porch pointing our here, right? So it's him, and that's him. But then that last says he lives in the house at the bungalow outside the thingy. So I went and there's a puddle of water here that stinks of shit and piss. Must be the toilet. I went and filled a 5-litre barrel up with it, right? It's fucking stinking, it's up there. And I got my jet wash, and when he comes back I'm going to film him till he hangs himself with his horrible attitude, right? And I'm not going to say a thing. I'm not going to say I've been to the campsite or anything like that. I says, has anyone complained about me? She says, I didn't even know you were there, I thought you were on the campsite. They knew I was coming, we rang up. They've got 2 big dogs. They said, oh, you can come on the beach, need leader. So, when I was walking out, I says, listen, I just kept saying to her in the camera, I says, listen, I'm going to tell you something new on camera. When I find him, he's in big fucking trouble.
I can understand though that somebody
My daughter's lying in the car ill.
doesn't know you, doesn't want to be filmed.
It's him.
I would be unhappy.
I'll not put that on the internet because the lady didn't want to be filmed.
No.
But I've got to, I says, well, I'll delete it after, when I've spoke to him, because I'll have to show him. And she was like, I says, well, can you come outside and I'll just record your voice? So then I can play that to him later when he comes back. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, he's threatened us. He says he's coming back later, and I bet I'll be gone and all this. Horrible little man.
Well, what kind of a van was it?
It was a little red van. I ran out to get his reg plate, but he was away, and he went up there. And anyway, this last says them who were there before still live here, and he said it sounds like Douglas. He's like the local pest. So wait till that is Douglas. He's gonna.
I suppose he considers it.
I'm gonna let him.
It's his land because he lives
Right,
here.
I know. But I've met people all my life like that, bullies. I hate them.
Yeah,
The last bloke who done that to me, right, I had some land at Corbridge, I had 22 horses, I was managing all the land, right, the owner of the land, I was renting 10 acres, he gave us 100 acres of land for free, because I cleaned out every forest he had, I was building new fences, doing all the hedges, everything, right, for 7 years. The first week I was there, this bloke comes walking in, reckon there, nobody wants you here, take all your horses and go, that's my driveway, you're driving up there. Anyway, I was like, eh? I says, alright then mate, I didn't know what to say to him. So the next day my landlord come, I said, he was rightly him, Queen's niece, the Queen's, his mother was the Queen's niece. Anyway, he says, oh, he's a right pest, nobody likes him, he's like a bully, right? I says, well, do you want us to say something to him? He says, no, I didn't say no. And he gave us extra bit of land, he says, drive in that way. So for 3 weeks I was driving in that way, just didn't bother him. And one day the gate was locked, I thought it's him. So I was walking up the path and he was there. Well, I'd already spoke to everyone. There was like a little hamlet, a big mansion, a garden cottage. All the people, there was a pond with horses and that. I spoke to them, they said he was a bully. He used to just walk through past the horses with his dogs. Didn't care, but the woman in the mansion said he used to walk across our lawn and they'd just say hello in a private garden. So anyway, he was at the top of the path. There was a guy with a steam engine, and he'd already told us he didn't like him either. And he reckons, oh, we're just talking about you to me. I goes, oh, are you? I says, oh, the gate's locked in there, so I've had to walk up here. It's a public road, Parbury. He goes, oh, we're just talking about you. You better leave and all this shit. And I just said, I couldn't hold it in. I'd been thinking about him for 3 weeks. I just ripped him to pieces. He shrunk into a little maggot like that, went running in the house crying. His wife come out with a towel on her head. What's going on? What's going on? I says, I tell you what, you're going to see me every day, 3 times a day. And he sold his house. He put his house up for sale the next day. He was a fake. I checked him up. Every job he'd ever had, he was a quitter. He'd tell people he was a big high-flying accountant. There was only 3 people who worked at the firm, and they were all managing directors. It was like a money laundering operation or something. Cheeky cunt.
What do you do now then?
You know, when I walked down the hill after I'd shouted and bawled at him, right, all the people come out the mansion and gives a round of applause, you know, because I'd felt the bully off. They'd been trying to do that for years. He's been doing it for 10 years to people. And that's, I can say, what's, and that's it. Everywhere I can, I've got to solve people's problems. This is the next one. He's the local bully. Well, he's moving out. He's got 22 horses and 100 acres of land. And the landowner died, and suddenly a cancer hit, 4 months to live. I was like, what? He was healthier than me. He used to come and see us every day. We'd walk all around the land. I'd show him what I'd done. So I was in the middle of doing this hedge lane. It was like a mile long. It took us 4 years. And I said I would do it for now, right? He says, no, I've got a grant. And you get 15,000 quid, right? So I says, oh, well, I'll spend it back on the land and buy all new fences and that, you know. The land hadn't been looked after for 50 years. That's what he said. After the first week I was there, he said, the land's never looked so good for 50 years. Anyway, he dies and his wife just hired us out and kept the money. Didn't even pay us. So I done a stroke, like a mini stroke. TDA or something it is. What is it?
I know what you mean.
Transanemic attack or something. Well, I didn't know I'd had a stroke. It took us 3 weeks to get to the hospital because I couldn't get anyone to look after the horses. Because I was like living with them in the field, off grid. I built like a proper farm. Anyway, she just went evicted and never mentioned. She pestered the life out of us for 6 weeks to finish the hedge. Like his dying wish was that I finish the hedge. I says, oh, that's no problem. Is there anything else? I'm finishing that anyway, you know. Is there else you want? He says, no, just do the hedge. He says, keep an eye on the wife. I says, oh, I'll look after her, do her garden and all that. As soon as he died, she pestered us for 6 weeks to finish the hedge, then 5 times a day ringing us, Christmas Day and everything. I was working on the hedge on Christmas Day, New Year's Day to finish it, because you could only do it over the winter. Anyway, as soon as I finished it, the day I finished it, right, she never mentioned the hedge again or the money. And then it was I want the land back because I've built a big small hold where it's a view, right, it's like this. If you had a house there, it's worth millions. And I got them permission in the other house was born by chasing this bloke because it was like behind him. Then they got permission and sold it, and that's what they're after. They're after stealing my bit, getting permission there, you know. And they've already got millions. They've got estates all over the country. I just told her to stick it up a horse and done a fucking stroke like, and I ended up having to give all the horses away. I was just too ill to look after them. And I went, yeah, I was in bed for 2 years. I thought I was dead. I thought, I'm not getting out of bed, I'm just waiting to die, you know. And then one day I just thought, you're not going to die, you know. And I just jumped up and, I'm alive! No, well, took us a couple of years to get better. Then my daughter dumped them 2 puppies on us last year, and I was, oh, what's this? Was 22 horses not enough? And they had me live for 6 months with diarrhea because I couldn't find the right food. And I was going to kill them every day, and then I love them now, like, and the fat is out now. And I do 20 miles a night with them, running behind the scooter, in the middle of the main road, right? 3 o'clock in the morning in the west of Newcastle.
Someone's coming to find you.
3 o'clock in the morning, that's Scrappy-Doo.
He's checking on you.
The channels.
Is this the more gentle one?
No, that's
This is
he thinks he's a boy. That's Shim. He thinks he's a boy. He's got gender issues. His rad is out, man. What are you doing, Shim? That's Scrappy-Doo. The other one's just
so the other one came to see me.
She's dead gentle.
And
Yeah,
she came up, and somebody was jealous.
Nudging
in. He was nudging in.
If I
yes, you
look,
were.
look what the pinch. He pinched me sausages from up there before coming and doing
I heard some. Who's had me
bugger.
sausages?
trying to get in.
Hey,
Listen to this, right? I give them a brand new leather settee at Christmas. In Bath,
Hey,
them, right?
girl.
They've got like a big cabin in the garden, heated. It's massive, you know. So that I got them a leather settee, bathed them. And I took them in and everything. And 2 days later, it was just a bare piece of wood that just chewed it. The cabin was 3 foot deep of foam, and it was just a bare piece of wood. When I walked out, they were tucked into a quilt on the settee and all that, you know. And they were just like, oh, this is nice. I couldn't believe it. 2 days later, every little piece of material was stripped off it. Man. You're mad, aren't you? I just read, yous are crazy. I'm not cleaning that up. Like,
It's a good job I've not got my dog with me.
what you got?
She's a Staffy Lurcher cross, so she's
Like a bull.
blonde brindle. Oh, she's
Get up,
beautiful.
I'll give you some in a
She's
minute.
a rescue,
Aye.
and she doesn't do dogs. And the
Is
bigger
it
the
like
bigger the
a
dog,
bull lurcher sort of thing.
she's
Is it-
what?
Has it got a Staffy's head?
No, she's not. She's not got the Staffy head. She's not got this lovely white
What's
head.
your hat feet, you?
She's not got this. She's got a
Right.
more narrow head, but she is a Staffy Lurcher.
Oh, I love lurchers.
And before that, I had a
What
Staffy.
you gonna? You'll break your.
I love
leg,
love
won't you?
bull breeds. I really do. They
Aye.
are my favourite.
I've had lurchers and whippets, but I love the bull breeds. Like my
It's the
last
head
dog,
there,
yeah.
you can just kick them and kick a different-
This was my last dog. Look, yeah. Simba, Lion King. We called him Simba, right? Before we even knew what he looked like. My mate rang us up in London. He was called an Aylstone Bulldog. It's a rare breed. There's only 600 in the country. And then he was breeded with a Japanese Tosa. And there was only 2 puppies, and the other one died, so he's one of a kind. My mate rang us up and he wouldn't tell us what kind it was. He says, you've got to have this puppy. His dog had been in the park and caught another dog in the park, you know, and it was this Japanese Tosa, and the bloke had said, oh, I'll give you one of the puppies. So he got like pick of the litter, but the other one died. He says, anyway, he wouldn't tell us what kind it was. He's just said it. He'd not even tell you what the time is. He says, bunny bugger. I says, well, what kind of dog is it? I says, I'm not driving all the way to London, and I don't even know what breed it is. Oh man, look, it's a really good dog. So the Ben was into Lion King at the time. I says, what we're going to call him? Simba. I hadn't seen him, right? I rang the other mate in London. I says, what kind of dog's he got? Oh, it's a really good one. Like, I can't. No, man, the bloody breed of it, man. Oh, I don't know. So I gets to my mates, and this big, massive devil dog come out the back door and try to kill us, right, with a head like this. I goes, what the hell is that? I says, I can't have a dog like that. I've got a little Ben. And he'd come out with that, with Simba, like a little puppy. And we'd already called him Simba before I'd seen him, and it was a little Simba. I just went, I'll have that though. Anyway, he lived till he was 15, man.
I always have rescue dogs.
I've rescued. How old is it?
So the one I've got now, she's 13.
Oh, yeah.
She's
no.
she's staying with my nephew, so she's staying at my sister's house. My sister and her husband have gone away. Ivan's 17, doesn't want to go away with his parents. And he's at a point where he goes off to parties late at night. So I phoned him. I said, are you sure you're going to have Poppy? I said, because, you know, you can't be off partying. I said, but I won't tell your parents if you have a party at your house, get your mates round, because Poppy loves
As long as you don't leave the dog.
I said, bring them round to your house and I won't say a word.
Oh, what's happened to this?
So he laughed.
Oh, I think
But
that's...
yeah, you know, she's 13 now. She's going a bit blind, rather deaf.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Simba got old. Well, I thought he was going to die at about 12 because of the size of him. So I started feeding him on steak pies, right? He used to get 2 a day in his normal food. He didn't die for 3 years. He's getting 2 steak. I think his steak pies kept him alive. You know?
I'm staying alive.
Definitely, man.
I'm going to go in. I'm getting a bit cold. But lovely to chat to you.
Yeah.